Tamara, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about the INFJ, which is one of the 16 Myers-Briggs personality types. Now, if you're not familiar with what Myers-Briggs is all about, check out my previous part 1 and part 2 videos where I break down the Myers-Briggs to you and I explain in great detail what your Myers-Briggs type is. Famous INFJs are Jimmy Carter, Shirley Temple, Pharrell Williams, Kim Kardashian. If you've ever watched Big Brother, Danny Donato is an INFJ, and also I think Janelle. They had a way of anticipating what the other players' moves were, and I think that's why they always got so far in the game and did so well at it and had sort of this mystique about them. And I remember watching Big Brother After Dark, and I could see Danny, I could see her kind of going inward and really, I don't want to say going into a trance, but she verbalized that sometimes when she got really quiet, she could go inward and things would just start coming to her and she could put pieces together about how things were going to play out. So that type, the INFJ, is often thought of as an intriguing type, a mysterious type. I usually know when I've met an INFJ because they sort of give you a feeling. Now, I don't know that they're as mysterious as what people think they are because they're using their intuition and things come together for them in a really special and unique way. People like to think of this type as psychic. It's not that they're psychic all the time or that you can ask them, what do you think is going to happen to me tomorrow? Or do you think I'm going to get that job? They might not know the answer to that question, but occasionally something will just come to them and it feels like it's out of nowhere. I've had INFJs to tell me before, not necessarily like a prediction, like a crystal ball type prediction, but to tell me that something that I thought was going to happen was not going to happen, and in fact there was going to be blah 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 that was going to happen instead, and it came true. And I'm like, wow, how do they know that? INFJs are very caring. Some of them seem really extroverted and some of them seem really introverted. I think the reason for that is your Enneagram. The Enneagram is also comprised of personality types, but there's 9 of them. And so if you pair each of those Enneagrams with the INFJ, it's going to change something about what that INFJ looks like. So if you have a 1 on the Enneagram, a 2, which is the helper, you have the peacemaker, that INFJ might appear to be more like an introvert. But if you pair it with a 4 or a 6, or like Danny Donato on Big Brother, I felt like she was the asserter, which is sort of shocking. I would never think that anybody could be an INFJ and be the asserter. So she came across very direct, very harsh, very confrontational, but she still had that INFJ quality about her, that sort of mystique. INFJs are caring people. They really connect with humanity. They are people, especially if they really train for it, they can take you deep, 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 deep into the psyche, deeper than most other types would be able to do. And they can uncover things and patterns about you that you didn't know. They can also sometimes anticipate things about you that you might not even be aware of. They can have this sort of knowing. I think if someone were to be psychic, it probably would be this type. They have very strong empathic abilities And they might even be able to tell what your intentions are about certain things before you're even aware of them. They usually have a very strong drive to help people or help humanity in some type of way. What's interesting about Pharrell Williams, for example, is he anticipated a couple of things happening as a result of certain events. And that's just how the INFJ mind can work sometimes. And I don't even think he knows that he's an INFJ. So that was sort of fascinating to me. I think Michael Jackson was an INFJ. He sort of had this natural, mysterious energy about him that was really unique. They know if somebody is good or bad usually. Maybe they can't explain it. INFJs to some people can be very difficult to get to know. Even the ones who appear to be more extroverted, it can take years of being friends with them before they start to reveal things about their lives. They tend to just kind of keep those things a secret unless they really, really trust you, and then they'll start to reveal them. But other than that, they can be very private when it comes to things that have happened in their lives that are deeply hurtful or painful or that they struggle with. I think opening up can be a frustration to some other types because they want to get to know the INFJs. I've had some INFJs to express wanting more friendships with people. At least the ones who have more of an introverted energy can differ from like an ENFJ, because an ENFJ, because they have that extroverted component, they're sort of feeling everybody out. The ENFJ can sort of have an edge on the social arena. They sort of get people, they know how to work people, they're not gonna offend people so easily. I think sometimes the INFJ might accidentally offend people without knowing it because they are still a very strong and independent type, and they may not that they don't get people in that way, but they may not be quite as glib, I guess, as the ENFJ would be in a social arena. I've had some INFJ friends to say they want more friends, but I think because they kind of, some of them, not all, because some of them seem very extroverted, but the ones that are more introverted, they kind of hold back a little bit more. I think one of the reasons why INFJs might be a little bit more private is because they can get deeply hurt by people, and so they tend to protect themselves from that. INFJs are very intellectual people. Many of them have careers that are linked to science, or they can be superior counselors. Another person who is an INFJ is Condoleezza Rice, and look at how brilliant she is. She's even a prodigy when it comes to playing the piano. I think she would be really cool to talk to see if things come to her. They have a very strong and vivid imagination, which can translate to very high level of intelligence. And I think because they can go so deep into the psyche, or deep into the mind or the world of another person, that's why sometimes they have been linked with having ESP, because of their enthusiasm and their depth, their insight, and their ability to concentrate. They are very sensitive to other people, so they can be easy to work with, and they also have great organizational skills. Some of them set boundaries, like that's a really big thing for a lot of INFJs, maybe because they need that time to rejuvenate, or it's just the way that they operate with people, with their time, with their schedule. Because the INFJ works within themselves on such an intuitive basis, that can feel very spontaneous to them. Because intuition is sort of, what intuition is possibilities, the possibilities of different things. So it can make them feel very spontaneous. They're very caring and gentle and complex people. They like to put a lot of energy into systems and how to get things done. They don't like conflict and they don't handle that very well. That's a source of frustration to them. Another reason why they might set boundaries is because I think they could become very overwhelmed by certain things in life, and if they become too stressed out, they can start really internalizing that, and it can start to manifest itself physically. So they have to be really careful to rejuvenate and look out for themselves in that way. Because their intuition is so strong, they really trust themselves above all others. And sometimes they can get very stubborn when it comes to that. In certain situations, they may feel like I'm right and I know I'm correct and I'm not bending on it. But sometimes you have to take in other people's opinions and be open to others' viewpoints in certain situations. They can be perfectionistic. So, and it doesn't come across as robotic or anything like that. Their personalities are very warm and engaging, but that perfection trait can create a lot of stress for them because they can get frustrated when they can't get things to the level that they want them to be, or they may be a little too hard on themselves sometimes. They believe in constant growth, going to the next level. I think when they're not doing that, they're a little bit frustrated with themselves. They have very strong value systems that they hold on to, and they believe in doing what they deem is right. They have high expectations of themselves and push themselves, I guess, maybe in some ways similar to the INTJ, because INTJs also really push themselves to the next level. And I think in some ways, both of those types are very independent and can both push themselves to higher personal growth. They are usually quite original in their approach to life. I think they can insist on a certain level of behavior or quietly forceful when it comes to certain aspects or people in their lives. Even though some of them may feel all over the place or spontaneous, they can be relied upon to finish what they start. They're gonna do what's right and tend to be very individualistic and unique, and they can put their own personal spin on things, and they can be quite artistic and creative when they tap into it. So this type is a really cool type. I think it's one of the most interesting to study about. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I plan to put out more videos on different Myers-Briggs types. Hang in there if you haven't heard yours yet, because there's 16 of them. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. I'm gonna put out more videos on Myers-Briggs types, but I also like putting out videos that can help people with personal problems and issues that they're having. So if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Check back every Monday. Bye.